My name is Chip Davis. I'm the president of the Mississippi Trappers Association. I thank y'all a bunch for being here for our first, maybe ever, our first certainly in a long time, awards banquet. So we're going to get started and eat, and as soon as we start wrapping up our meal, we're going to have a little small presentation. We got a couple of awards that we would like to recognize an individual or two for, and so as we get started, I'd like to ask our co-committee chairman, Mr. Derek Vance, if you would mind returning thanks for a meal.
My God, thank you, Lord, for a beautiful day. Thank you, God, for the ability to come together as trappers, pursuing and doing what we love to do. Thank you, God, for the freedom to do that and the ability to work with individuals and on the state, local level to be able to pursue our passion and our hobbies. And we love you. Thank you, God, again for this day. Bless the food, bless the nourishment of our bodies, and bless this meeting tonight. In Jesus Christ's name we pray.
Amen. Well, we're going to go ahead and start with the program. Got a little bit of a short program tonight, but something that's really important, something that I've been looking forward to for over a year now that I feel is real important that we bring back to the Mississippi Trappers Association. I understand that we used to do this a long time ago, and I'm looking forward to kind of bringing some of these awards I think are very, very worthy. Without a lot of these individuals that have paved the way for us, we wouldn't have an association to be able to steer and improve upon now. And so our hats are off to those guys that we started in 1972, I believe. I knew this weekend it was early 70s. I didn't know for sure. And actually, one of our members was visiting with us earlier. I think it was yesterday, and we figured out it probably was 1972. Mr. K.B. Brown started with a small group of trappers, and we have been an association ever since, all the way to 2018. So I appreciate you being here. I see a lot of our members here are faithful members. I see guys that have been our friends for a long time. Lots of vendors from other states. Guys, we appreciate your support and appreciate you sharing this evening with us. It means a lot. Want to recognize real quick our two camera guys, Toby and our camera guy number 2 over here in the back. These guys have been doing an awesome, fantastic job all weekend recording these demos. We're going to really utilize this information as we go forward. Start watching our website in the coming weeks. We're going to start uploading probably one of these demos every week or 2 or 3 or something. We'll work some of those details out. Want to recognize our webmaster, Mr. Tim Roper here, is taking over our website and our web design and programming, and he's doing a fine job. And we'll talk more about that in our meeting tomorrow and some of the really, really creative things that we're doing that we have planned and successes that have happened already with our website. So that's a really good thing. In my understanding, and a lot of this history I'm vague on. I joined the association in 1985, I believe, and it may have actually even been 1984. I started trapping the year before I got my license in 84. I know that one, and not sure if I joined in 85 or the subsequent year, but I've been around for quite a few years myself here, and with a few years of quietus in between there. But my understanding is we have at least had an annual meeting every year since our inception in '72, and we've come a long way from those early ones I remember at Holmes County State Park to this. This has been a really successful convention, I think, so far, and looking forward to tomorrow. We got a lot of demos and a lot of really neat stuff happening tomorrow. And so, does anybody, or the old members, Mr. David, Kenny, the guys that have been around for a while, anybody remember doing an actual convention like this ever before, or this is the first time? Okay, all right, good deal. I didn't know if we had ever started back in our early years with one or not, but I was 2 years old when we were formed in '72. So, all right. Well, first thing I'd like to do, because the convention I think has been a huge success so far. We're right dead center in the middle of it right now. We're going to open, just so everybody's on the same page, it'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It seems like a late start, but I think everybody, as far as vendors, are checked in, set up, ready. The store doesn't open until 10. It kind of creates a little bit of confusion on Bass Pro. My hat's off to Bass Pro. I don't think we have a rep from them in here. They have been so gracious to to really change their schedule, open up early, let these vendors get in, get set up. So we'll be opening the doors at 10 o'clock tomorrow just to finish that, run down that schedule. We'll have demos running on the hour, every hour up until and through 1 o'clock. And at 2 o'clock sharp, we will have our annual membership meeting, and it will be in the conference room here, which is on the opposite side of the building and on the back corner. And any of the guys that have been on the convention committee can point you in that direction. If you find the shoe department, it's immediately behind the shoe department on that same corner of the stores, where we'll have an annual meeting at 2 o'clock sharp, straight up. We will start a meeting there. So I would like to, before we really get started, I'd like to recognize this convention committee. Guys, I've been a part of a lot of different things in my life, and committees like this. I was real involved with Catch a Dream for a long time, on some boards and some some committees there. I was involved with Turkey Federation for a while, and was president of a chapter, and did the whole committee thing. A lot of you guys are familiar with how those works. Things at church, different committees, different things. Guys, this committee, getting ready for Mississippi Travelers Association event this year, our convention, has absolutely, hands down, been the smoothest operating, best experience I've ever had in my life on anything I've ever served on. And I'd like to recognize those guys, and I would like for them to stand up. I think most of them here, I maybe missed one. I'm just going to start, and this is in no order whatsoever. This is just, as they popped into my mind as I was sitting here making my list. So when I call your name, you're a convention committee member, please stand up and stay standing until I finish the list. Mr. Kenny Prince. Kenny's been vital to this committee, and his input and his wisdom has really, really, really been valuable. Derek Vance. Derek and Kenny are actually co-chairmen of the convention committee. They work together hand in hand, and both of them, Derek's organizational skills and direction has been invaluable. Mr. Justin Rogers. Justin has always been there anytime we needed him, anything. He's always there. Mr. Wayne Franklin. Mr. Wayne is another guy that's just got the mind of wisdom that can keep us on the right track and is absolutely valuable. Miss Glenda. Miss Glenda absolutely keeps us in order at these conventions. She's always steadfast to be there and so supportive, whether we're here or we're in Escanaba, Michigan, or we're in somewhere in the middle of Wisconsin. We're talking about this, and we're still organizing, even though it's remote places. Mr. Scott Mosley. Scott is an absolute organizational master. If you want it done, you talk to Scott. Bam, it's done. You don't have to worry about anything else, and it doesn't matter how many hoops he has to jump through to get there. Scott's the man organizationally to get it done. Mr. Tracy Warden. Tracy has been invaluable. If you've been to the back of the store and seen our kids display, absolutely amazing. Guys, if you hadn't seen that, at least run by there and put your eyeballs on it. Tomorrow is going to be a huge day for the kids. We got lots of activities. We did today too, just a little bit limited with children here because it's school day and all that. I look for that to happen in much greater numbers tomorrow. And the resources he's got there and the explanation he does for trapping with these youngsters is unbelievable. And the work he's done has been great. Mr. Marty Harmon, our vice president. Marty's been involved, and he's been leading us along the way, and his wisdom and leadership has been invaluable throughout this whole thing. This is the convention committee for this entire convention, along with myself. We have been meeting since June, working on this. Guys, I sincerely appreciate it more than I can tell you, and I think our association appreciates as well. Thank y'all very much. It's been a bunch of hard work. We were trying to think when we actually started yesterday. I believe we started in early June planning this, and we've met at least once a month, every month. And there's been a couple of months that we've met bi-monthly as we try to get a little closer to the event time. And we're here. We're just about to wrap it up. So, like I said, this has been the absolute best ideas and brightest minds and some of the brightest people in our association. I thank you all deeply from the bottom of my heart. So one thing that came out of the committee, and also even all the way back to last year's business meeting, we decided that we wanted to explore it. Actually, this idea goes back 2 years ago when Mr. David Gore proposed the idea of going from an annual gripe session, annual meeting to a convention-style meeting. So we endorsed that, and it took a couple of years to make that happen, but we have certainly changed the format, and that's where we are now. Once that got kicked around for a year or two, and especially last year, we decided that, it's been long enough that we hadn't recognized the leaders of our past in our association that have brought us through. And so tonight we have two specific awards that we want to convey to some very, very special people that are part of our association. The first award we're going to call Trapper of the Year. And it's not necessarily, as we decided on this, the most skilled trapper of the year. It doesn't necessarily mean he catches the most animals, but what it does mean is this individual is going to go above and beyond the call of duty for the membership of the Mississippi Trappers Association. And incidentally, this year, I think he actually may also be the most skilled trapper too. So we'll discuss that as we get into it. And I'm going to read a little bit of some bio. I had some help putting some of this together, so I don't want to leave anything out. And I'm sometimes not the best reader in the world, but I think I would rather than paraphrase. I think I would rather kind of read this. The 2018 Mississippi Trappers Association Trapper of the Year is no stranger to the outdoors. His family has stated that perhaps he even grew up in the wrong era. As a boy, this individual loved the likes of Daniel Boone and Jeremiah Johnson. And he basically lived out his childhood in the footsteps of his heroes. Early on, his father was a hunter, but nowhere close to what this individual would become in his later years. His father was not a trapper, but when his father learned that his son's love for the outdoors was so strong, and the son was borrowing other people's traps, maybe returning them, maybe not, and his father noticed that his son was becoming extremely proficient in catching animals. As a matter of fact, when this individual's father saw what was happening, he would drive his son to the trap line before school started each morning, that his son could run his trap line even at the early age of 12 to 13 years old. His father bought his son a few traps and also a book on trapping by Mr. Stanley Hallbaker, which our recipient still has and treasures to this day. In this era, the older guys were not much on explaining sets or helping the younger generations learn to trap. And I think that it very well may be this reason that the individual that's a recipient of tonight's award is so eager to teach the youngsters and become involved and pass on our love for passion, especially with his own children and his own grandchildren, as well as any other children that he encounters. The 2018 Trapper of the Year was born and raised in Brandon, Mississippi. He has hunted and fished and trapped for over 50 years all across the United States. He spent 4 years as a hunting guide in Colorado immediately after graduating from high school. He came back and graduated from Belhaven University and began an exciting 29-year career with the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries, and Parks, retiring at the rank of Major over Special Operations. He currently owns a nuisance wildlife control business specializing in the control of beavers, alligators, hogs, and other predators, as well as being involved with numerous state, national, and local trapping programs. He is a vital, and I might also add, a lifetime member of the Mississippi Trappers Association. It is my pleasure to ask Mr. Kenny Prince to step forward and receive the 2018 Mississippi Trapper of the Year Award.
Thank you very much.
All right. Good stuff, guys. Really, really good stuff. As Kenny starts sitting down, two ideas among many, many, many ideas that came from Kenny regarding this very convention. The skill set he brought and the ideas he brought were huge. But two really, really important ones I want to mention real quick. It originated in somebody's head, the idea, hey, why don't we explore having our convention at Bass Pro Shops? It came from this man right here. Original idea. We went from that idea into development to where we are right now tonight. So that's where the whole entire idea is. One more brilliant idea. I've been in and out and around trapping shows for a number of years and operated business inside the trapping industry. and been to a lot of conventions and watched a lot of demos. We have a demo going on tomorrow. Please catch part of this. This also was Kenny's idea, an absolute brilliant one that will be modeled, I'm sure, throughout the country as we go forward. Our motto with Mississippi Trappers Association is keeping the tradition alive. Kenny's idea for this demo, and we actually currently, I believe, have 6 different teams. It's an adult and it's a child, and the demo is the adult and that child actually in that demo arena actually setting a trap and doing what they do. It's not about learning how to catch a coyote, guys. It's not about learning how to catch a beaver. It's about learning how to, or witnessing real life people. Kenny will be doing this with his granddaughter. There's several of us doing it with our kids, maybe even somebody that's doing it with a neighbor kid down the street. That, guys, is keeping the tradition alive. It's going to be a really, really cool demo and something that shows what our true mission and core is all about. That idea also came from Kenny. So, all right. We additionally, changing gears, and we're about to wrap up here. We have one more award that we would like to present tonight. And the awards committee took this particular award very, very, very seriously with very much deep deliberation and deep concern. And I think we absolutely chose the right recipient for this. The awards committee wishes to induct a very special person into the Mississippi Trappers Association Hall of Fame and Lifetime Achievement Award. Tonight, the MTA is recognizing an individual who has spent his entire life in the company of trappers. From an early age, he learned to trap with his friends and his family. During the 1960s, he began working with his mother and father in their rural family business, buying and selling fur. By the 1970s, he had established some of the largest fur buying routes across many small communities in Mississippi and even venturing over into Alabama. For those veteran trappers that are with us tonight, the fur boom years of the 1970s and 1980s are ones that you'll never forget. And likely, you have sold some of your fur to this man. You know firsthand that in this era, trapping paid better than working a labor job. His fur business was originally established in 1938 in Mississippi and is still owned and family operated to this day as a third-generation business within the trapping industry. It was during those early years that this individual began exploring ways to supply reasonably priced traps and supplies to the trapping public. And in 1986, with trapper input, he developed a low-cost 1.5 coil spring trap that would later become the top-selling trap in the country and the standard amongst that era. And incidentally, was consisted of the first 6 traps that I ever bought personally. In his over 4 decades of service, he has worked steadily promoting fur and trapping so we can enjoy the freedoms that we all treasure. He has constantly and steadfastly supported the Mississippi Trappers Association through all of these years, even from the beginning, and he has graciously assisted us at any time and in any way that we ask for help. He is known well in the trapping industry as the founder of Duke Traps, but to Mississippi trappers, we know him as one of our own. Tonight, we are honored to present the Mississippi Trappers Association Lifetime Achievement Award and Hall of Fame to Mr. T.A. Duke.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll mention that this convention is sponsored by Duke Trap Company. Without his help and without his assistance, it would have been very, very difficult to do what we have done with this convention, especially and do it as efficiently as we have done it. The support from Mr. T.A. and Bill and all the crew over at Duke Traps is absolutely sincerely appreciated, as much as the continued efforts over the years that you guys are a constant friend, and we're proud to have you one of our own. Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Guys, that's going to wrap up our presentation awards dinner tonight. Thank you again so much for coming out. Remember, tomorrow morning, a little bit delayed start time, 10 o'clock. Hope to see everybody back. We're going to run from 10 to 2, and the meeting will start promptly, and I mean promptly, straight up, 2 o'clock. Okay. Thanks, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you. Good, good. Thank you. Thank you.